Bryan Pollock. David, are you gonna?
David's not going to participate.
You see this Joe Biden repayment of $200,000? He's like, that was a loan repayment, and I did it while I wasn't in office, so totally legit. It's $200,000 repay.
I find myself way less angry not paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even.
I'm trapped. I'm in a cornfield in a state that's controlled by the other side, so I just kind of live my life in the corner. And we had some action in town the other day. There was a helicopter flying around. It was about 9 o'clock at night, so I just started loading mags at the kitchen table, and nothing ever.
I'm sorry to tell you this. You're a very large man, and I don't want to upset you, but I'm just telling you that if you keep yourself uninformed, you are the other side.
Oh boy. Oh.
Are you trying to get somebody to assert physical violence against you?
I think he's trying to get me to come across the table. Luckily,
I'm just telling you like it is.
Too many scrambled eggs.
What was it? What was it that you called? What was it that you called Jeff? You
yeah, you got him upset. Republican light. He's like he's Republican.
You can't do that.
Conservative light. He's like, I'm really conservative. It's like, dude, you're Canadian. You can't be that conservative.
We listened to Matt Walsh the whole ride down here, just so you know. We are slightly informed.
He's
compared to David, he's a liberal.
Yeah.
He's TradCon. He's okay. I'm not a fan.
David goes, that guy's a little light in the loafers.
Did you ever get that checked out? Just that little.
I'm not a big fan. I don't like the Daily Wire either. I'm not a Daily Wire.
That's okay. I'm not either. Jim was listening to it, so his truck, he's driving his rules, whatever.
I'm pretty excited that he's here,
dude. I'm over the top.
He's a super cool guy.
He's
How long did you talk to him for? Like 30 seconds, 45 seconds?
I love how you judge me,
dude.
I love how you judge me
because everybody's your friend. Everybody's cool.
Well, I'm not a douchebag like you.
Well, I need more substance. I need more time with somebody.
Is that why you don't have any friends?
That is why I don't have any friends. It's because I found most people are trash.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm glad I fit into the category.
Let me just so we're clear. You're not allowed.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
You're not allowed to judge that somebody's cool in 45 seconds, but he's allowed to judge somebody is trash in 45 seconds.
Yeah, that's
just
how this
making
works.
sure we got that handled.
You know what it says in the Bible? For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God.
Yes, we're all trash.
We're all trash.
Some of us are trash light.
So some of us are trash that are fit for our maker. That's the only difference. Yeah. That's the only difference. I like that. That's some of us are trash light.
Some of us are trash light.
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
This is great.
Yeah,
I mean that's a I don't have anything else to talk about. Conversation starter.
It is. That's I mean, we don't really have anything else to talk about.
It'll start a conversation.
What's that? I mean, Brian's a yacker. He'll talk about whatever.
Yeah. What
are you rubbing your face on the microphone?
I did. We're you know what we're going to talk about?
You know, you're lucky that I have AI editing all this stuff because that would be like a cut to that, zoom in, and then
that's a fat guy thing. I walk around my house scratching my back with the corners of the walls. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do that.
Like doing the same
I do
thing.
that. I was doing that in the hotel last night. You know what? All the hotel here.
Oh my God!
Rounded.
You know what? You know what? Hey, you know what? Do you know what?
You know what?
You know what?
You know what?
We had the most badass dinner.
Tell me about this place that you
Hold on. We'll talk about the dinner in a second. But all of the corners are rounded. So I wake up in the middle of the night. It wasn't the middle of the night. I was trying to fall asleep and I couldn't because my back was itchy AF. And so I get up and I'm like, I'm going to find me a corner. I'm going to do the bear thing, right? And you start scratching. And so
that's amazing.
Bear thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you do when you go to the
bear? Like scratch his back on.
I thought you were talking about like
he's talking about
dude.
He's talking about like the Jungle Book.
Oh,
I think Blue on the Jungle Book
like
scratched his back on a tree while he was,
I didn't know.
They do it in real life too. You've seen the videos, like the nature videos.
I think they do it to mark the territory. So you're marking your territory in a hotel room that you don't own. Okay. You gotta remember, I'm a country boy. Animals, the only reason they scratch on stuff is to mark the territory.
Is that true?
That pretty much the only reason.
Dude,
they
those
scratch
bastards
on stuff.
absolutely stink.
Bears?
They stink.
They smell like. God. So I was hunting one time. I used to deer hunt a lot, and it's a long story. Before I had kids, I had a bunch of time.
To the mic.
I had a bunch of kids, so I don't have time to deer hunt. So I used to deer hunt with my brother. we were in New York State. It's called the Southern Tier. So you have like where we live, there's only things that won't hurt you. The Southern Tier has things that will hurt you, like rattlesnakes and bears.
Yeah.
We were hunting deer, and we were walking through some really thick brush, and we saw some scratches on a tree. And you can, if you've hunted enough, you can tell the difference between a tree that a bear scratched and a tree that a deer scratched. This is a tree that a bear scratched, and we're cruising, and we're up half mile up the road going through this thick stuff, and like we hear something like grunting a little bit, and it smelled like wet dog and garbage. And I was and it was archery season, no firearms. I'm like, time to spin around.
Yeah,
we're out of here.
How big what kind of bear are you going to get in New York?
The problem is that wild animals don't have to be big to hurt you, right? A 90-pound doe could put me in the hospital if it kicked me.
Yeah. Have you ever read the thing about roping a deer?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
we should make David read it. That would be a good episode.
It's really long.
It is. So the
deer will F you up. That's the TLDR.
The one that was
and they don't have like teeth and claws, and they're not as big as bears, even small bears.
Those hooves hurt though. The one that was behind the house the other night, it was like
weight has to make a difference.
And like rolled over.
50-pound dog comes after you, like. You're going to punt that dog.
I don't know. I'm telling you what, a house cat that's pissed off.
Dude.
That house cat is getting by the tail like.
Not when it's got you by the balls, David.
Dude, when they're
Why would it go for my balls?
That's what they do, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, haven't you seen the guy on live morning television with the cat
and it wraps around his leg?
Wraps around his leg and bites his balls.
But he was trying to be like polite. I'm saying like you're in the woods. You're in a uncontrolled environment. This isn't I'm on TV and I don't want to punt this cat because it might be bad on TV for me to kick the crap out of this cat. A bear comes at you, you look at it and you're like, that bear's maybe 100 pounds.
Well, I'm going to go with what I've always worked with self-defense. The first step is to avoid the situation.
Amen.
But if you can't avoid
if I smell the bear and I know he's
I'm not even gonna.
I'm just gonna turn around, walk back down the hill. I'm fat. I didn't want to go to the top of the hill anyways. I'm just there because my brother wanted to go to the top of the hill and stare out the top of the hill. So I'm just gonna walk back down the hill. Fair enough.
No, I get it.
I ain't looking for a wrestling match with a bear. That's for sure. You freaking get rabies and everything else. And are you showing the video?
Get that, but I'm looking at it from.
That's a different video.
I cannot get out of the situation.
David has a mental picture of me.
What do I do in that situation?
David has me.
There's a mountain lion coming at me. Well, that guy's like pointing a gun at him.
Just watch. Dude, that's how little cats are too, man. All of a sudden, watch this. Watch him. Did you see him come at him real quick?
Yeah,
dude. Nah, man.
David's got this mental picture where I'm on the bear. I have the bear on the ground in like a full rear naked choke, and the bear's gonna like tap out or something. Like the bear's gonna tap.
No,
like
dude.
It's the MMA or something. Like that thing ain't tapping out, bro. He's gonna fight for his life. He's going to find a way to kill me or die trying.
The joke, that we were having the other day is that
the bear ain't tapping out, bro. There's no ref, man.
Well, they have adrenaline too. Right. And so they will absolutely ramp up. I mean,
go batshit crazy.
Yeah, dude. I've seen a dude shoot one with a 5.56 like 30 times.
Oh, yeah.
And it still come at him.
I was hunting raccoons with my buddy Phil one time. The raccoon was up in the tree. He shot 7 times. I'm like, out the way. You don't know what you're doing. I shot the raccoon. Thing hit the ground, had 8 holes in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have adrenaline. That's freaking 13-pound raccoon.
Yep.
Couldn't get out of a tree with a firearm, and I'm going to wrestle a bear? No.
This dude was going to boop a rattlesnake in the snoot the other day.
What?
I was going to boop him.
You didn't see that video?
What?
I was going to boop him.
I like walked right up on a rattlesnake. And so I jumped back and David keeps walking. I'm like, whoa, stop. And he's like, what? I was like, there's a effing rattlesnake on the ground.
I just asked. We stopped and the snake was going across.
We're going to be like the Cobra King.
And I was going to be like, hey, can I boop him in the nose? I was like, you do that and see what happens.
Right? Because like when I walked up on him, right, he backed up and coiled up. And you know how they coil and they like stand up tall?
That's so they can reach you.
And so David's like leaning down to look at him.
Oh, so you get bit in the face so it gets to your brain faster. That's great.
Yeah. Why is there a countdown here?
Well, because you didn't empty the effing hard drive.
Is that what it's saying? 24 minutes left of
that's what it's
recording
saying.
time? All right. Hey, you got 24 minutes to make this interesting. Go.
You're the one talking about wrestling bears.
David, listen, David is from the city. When he says wrestling bears, he means something.
I don't know what he's like. I'm like, is this guy serious?
No, he's he's serious.
I'm saying you're in a situation you cannot get out of it, and a 90-pound black bear is coming at you. Like someone your size, I don't know that you would turn around and run.
I would attempt to choke it out, and I would probably either get killed or hopefully it would run away.
You absolutely do not run from it, because you run from it, it will chase you.
You ever seen that bear that they bluff, right?
If you make loud noises, they will usually run from you. If you walk outside, they're scared of house cats.
Black bears. Do you know?
Don't do that with a grizzly. No,
do you know
not
the
do that.
official rule between black bear and brown bear? From what I read, I've never had any experience with brown bears. Black bears, you try to intimidate. Brown bears, you just lay down and hope they keep on passing.
Yeah, because they are aggressive.
Because they have a mental image of their size and power, and a brown bear's like, I'm freaking 900 pounds, dude. I'll F your day up. Like, you want to scare me?
900 pounds. That's like that's a big Kodiak grizzly.
Biggins.
That's what a brown bear is. It's a grizzly.
No, there's brown bears and then there's grizzlies, dude. Like I remember going into the St. Louis Zoo and seeing a Kodiak grizzly. That's a different size of animal. That's an elephant with fur. That is enormous.
Basically, but I've seen Snuffleupagus. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
I know that they're brown bears, but I'm saying that there's a size difference.
There's a distinct difference.
Yeah.
They are a separate subspecies.
Between the bears on Kodiak Island.
Yeah, like Kodiak grizzlies.
Wyoming grizzly.
They look like elephants with fur. They're enormous.
That's fair
enough. Enormous animals.
Yeah.
Okay, that thing's coming at me. Yeah, I'm going to pull a remnant. Like, I'm going to just curl up in a ball and then screech at this, fling me around, tear me into pieces.
My understanding was...
Seen that movie? That movie's good.
Oh, yeah, it's a damn good movie. My recommendation is like shove your fist down its throat.
That'll work.
Actually, that's how you stop a dog. That's how you stop a dog biting, right? You shove your arm into it, and it triggers gag reflex, and hopefully they let go, and they usually don't.
You don't go for the eyes like a shark? You go for the eyes with
I've never heard that.
You go for the eyes.
I had a dog bite me. I've had a dog
eyes.
bite me before, and I just shoved in the back of its throat. And
black bears, they hunt with revolvers. Around us, they hunt black bears with a 357 or a 44.
357, yeah.
Yeah. And so
what's the point? Just to stuff it?
Dogs chase them, and then they
tree them.
Yeah, they tree them, and then they go up. And my understanding of them is that they're not very tasty.
They're not.
They eat them in Russia. Bear meat is a thing.
Honey, in Russia, you eat whatever you can get.
No, this is in 1930s Russia.
In my experience with eating wild game, which is rather between me, the hunting I used to do, the hunting Jim does. Jim just went on a moose trip. Mm-hmm. I was sitting in the truck eating a moose steak, a cold moose steak. I mean, it had been cooked, but I was eating a moose steak on the ride down here. A lot of times with the deer and stuff, they taste like whatever they're eating. So if you shoot a deer in the Niagara frontier and you cut it up, well, it's a corn-fed animal and it tastes fantastic. If you shoot one in the scrub brush or the southern tier, it's going to be a little bit more gamey, man. That thing's been eating acorns. You know what I mean? So like bears eat out of dumpsters and garbage cans. So they taste like garbage.
Dumpsters and garbage cans.
Yeah. I've never had bear that I enjoyed to eat. And I can get anything down. But like I was like, this isn't that great.
Yeah. What about you, David?
I like that gamey flavor.
Do you?
Yeah.
You should get into goose hunting.
So yeah, like I had a friend who would bring me pheasant and duck and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'd chomp down and one of the little beads would be in there.
Yeah, try not to break your teeth.
Yeah, but I like the gamey flavor. It was good.
I have an attachment for the trailer hitch in my truck that you can shove the bird on and breast it out right there. Then you don't.
I don't know what that means. I don't do any of that.
It's kind of like cleaning.
I get that.
You don't.
It's
do
like
that
what they do in the part of the grocery store that you don't see.
Yeah,
where they take.
No. Well, I've worked in the meat department.
Okay.
Where like I've chopped up things, but it's like not. That. It's not the same.
Gotcha. Yeah, you don't.
I'm not going from alive, but even then, like you shoot it. I'm talking about like the country folk that chop the head off the chickens. Like, hey, Bessie the chicken. I don't know what you would name a chicken. Any clucker? Hey, Mrs. Cluckers, come on her. Your dinner tonight. You
mother,
take the chicken
mother clucker,
and you shove. That's the name of a restaurant.
You don't name the chicken, bro. Because if you name the chicken,
You get attached.
you ain't going to eat.
Because the deal is with chickens
What?
is once they quit laying eggs,
Then
is
you
when
turn them
take
into
that
dinner,
off,
yeah. Is that a thing? I want some
oh,
chickens.
absolutely.
I'm dying to get chickens. They seem like nice pets.
Dude, as much of an asshole as you are way too sensitive for that.
What do you mean?
Like you're going to fall in love with them, and then when
My
something
friends
like
have
they-
chickens. They fall in love. I have different friends that have chickens. Some are like, they're just animals and they lay eggs, and when they don't lay eggs, we kill them and eat them. Others are like bringing the things in and out. The kids are naming them. The things quit laying eggs, but they keep feeding them. It's like,
Let's see, with a
come on,
chicken,
bro.
I don't know. It seems the chicken seems impersonal. Now a little potbelly pig.
No. A
get a
chicken
little
is not impersonal.
Really? They become like friendly and
Some people have like show chickens, like special edition chickens.
well, I get the special edition chickens. That makes sense. But
Did
they're
you
still
just
animals.
spit?
Maybe.
I just saw like the
Back to
Holy
Loogie?
Spirit. Like,
Trash light. Oh my gosh.
But a potbelly pig, I couldn't. Once it's in the house,
Charlotte.
Mr.
you name
Johnson. You you name a pig. I don't know. I know somebody who had a
Mr.
pop-
Johnson. That's
Mr.
what you name the
Johnson.
pig.
Yeah, that's what some. I
That's
know.
my hog, Mr. Johnson.
Yep. That literally happened. I know people. That literally happened. Then
don't
Mr.
think he gets
Johnson.
it.
Then she came home from school. Then the kids came home from school that day, and Mr. Johnson wasn't in the house anymore, but the freezer was plugged in on the back porch.
What, you took Mr. Johnson to school? You exposed Mr. Johnson to school kids?
Are you out of your mind? No, the father of the family had the pig slaughtered. You weirdo.
he's talking about something different.
Yeah, he's
I'm
from the
not
city.
talking about it. I'm talking about a potbelly pig.
Yeah, so am I.
When
He's out of his mind.
when you talk about bears, when you talk about Mr. Johnson, your hog, David just gets so
He can't help himself.
Johnson, you're
He wants to go down that road, and I'm not going to participate. I'm just going to keep going like we're having a normal conversation, David.
Have you ever been on this show and we have a normal conversation?
I've tried. It's tough.
You tried. I showed up to play it straight, and then you
yeah.
goofballs.
Yeah. Guys are over here cornballing.
So we went to a restaurant last night. And the most disappointing thing about this show for me is that it's likely this is the last year here. And what's disappointing about that is that even though this is the last year, David and I are still going to have to fly into Allentown once a year. It's expensive.
It's not that expensive.
It's not expensive for me because it's a direct, but David has
the
a
flight.
connection.
Oh, the flight's ridiculous. It's
And
so
then,
expensive.
You know, I'm sure he's going to be staying at what's Pocono? What's the other place up the road here?
Pocono Resorts.
No, they've got a different name for it.
I don't know.
The Swingers Club. I'm sure that's where you'll be. I'll stay at the Holiday Inn.
With Mr. Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to go eat at this place, right?
I'm trying
It's-
to understand
Of
why I
all
don't
the
know about
places,
this place.
of all the places we've
Eating's
eaten,
kinda like,
because we
you know,
look
I do
everywhere
that.
we
I thought you were
go.
dieting.
I am. I did actually pretty good yesterday. Yeah.
He
today.
just had 14 chocolate chip cookies.
I did not had one piece of bread since I've been here.
So
Good for you.
Thank you.
this
Don't let him make you feel bad just because he downed a whole bunch of
I stole the
dishes.
flashlight from my dad, so you guys are gonna have to try a lot harder than that.
we
I don't know what that means.
you never held the flashlight for your dad. Did you ever go snipe hunting when you were a kid?
My dad wasn't around.
Oh,
Sorry.
so nobody took you snipe hunting?
So nobody beat your ass when you weren't pointing the
Oh
flashlight in
no,
the right
yeah,
spot.
yeah. I got my ass beat, but for other reasons.
You should probably go to New York and go snipe hunting with Bryan. They've got great snipes up there.
The hell's a snipe?
You should have to go snipe hunting and find out. Anyway, so this restaurant is like, of all the places we've eaten, the absolute best restaurant we've ever eaten at as the podcast. Because I don't know if you know this or
the
not.
Double Eagle place was good.
It was good. But I mean, I don't know if you know this. The
top
podcast
three.
is really about David and I going and eating food.
Yeah.
That's really what this is.
I would say that Water's Edge is probably is it's top 3. I'm trying to think if the Double Eagle is top 3 too.
What's the other top 3?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Because I mean, we got some places that we go to consistently.
Do we need to mix it up?
I kind of like our routines, but
No, but you
Water's
don't wanna-
Edge.
Yeah, Water's Edge is legit.
And so what was that? Was it the chef special we did last night or the tasting?
We did a tasting menu. So it was 6 courses. They brought whatever out.
Oh man,
They didn't tell you what was coming. It was
Gotcha.
just
I can dig
just brought
that.
out.
That's fine.
Yeah.
oh my god, it was so
Well,
good.
these you ask people, and we asked, what's his name, Ryan?
Mhm.
Hey, are you a picky eater? And everybody says no. Oh, I'm not a picky eater, but all they eat is mashed potatoes and chicken nuggets. And so I said, "Are you sure? Like you'll fish, shrimp, uncooked fish,
Uncooked
like
fish,
whatever. Like
things
Hey,
ground
you know
up
his
with arugula.
favorite food is sushi.
Oh, I love sushi. Anyway, so I love sushi, sashimi. Oh, I love it. Anyway, and he's like, no, I'll eat whatever. I'm like, down, let's do this. And then he was game too. So we had, it was good. They didn't bring anything out.
The first was
weird.
sausage.
Andouille sausage, yeah,
The
with a
second-
coleslaw.
The second was a salad with
Oh, I thought that was
fig
third.
and
What was that
pistachio.
third? Pistachios.
yeah, it was a
fig,
microgreen salad.
Yeah.
What was the third?
The catfish.
Catfish was really good, like a
Blackened catfish.
blackened catfish. Really,
Oh yeah,
nice spice
oh,
to
yeah,
it.
I eat catfish. Oh
Yep.
yeah,
What was?
they get it cleaned up good. Sometimes that catfish is a little bit bony.
No, this
they
was
got it cleaned up
this
real
was-
nice.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
this
perfect.
was
Good.
this was good.
Nice.
and it was perfectly crisp. We got the
The fillet was to die for.
yeah, the
It was-
fillet was probably one of the best I've had.
It was phenomenal. Yeah, the steak was legit.
We got
The chocolate mousse. There was
burn
one more.
ends. Burn ends. We got burn ends. That was really good.
No, we didn't get burn ends. We got the pork belly, but that was
Oh,
the
that's right.
appetizer.
Yeah, pork belly.
And so the
pork belly looks like burn-ons.
well, here's the thing: is that the pork belly,
I don't
you know,
remember forgetting
usually
the sixth. I don't remember what the hell else we got.
usually when they cook it, they do burn ends or pork belly. It doesn't have like a crispy exterior.
Mm-hmm.
They put it in a sauce, and so it ruins the exterior.
Yeah.
And this was like perfectly crispy on the outside. It had like that crunchy exterior.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And people
Oh.
can add their sauce if they want to. That's how
Yeah.
I do it. Like if we're camping and I'm doing like food for a ton of people and I do
You bring
burn ends.
pork belly.
Yeah. Have you ever?
What? What?
Dude, I'll bring a couple briskets to go camping for a weekend. What are you talking about?
He eats them in an afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, we bring a full-size smoker. Like that's the only reason to go is to
It's called glamping.
Yeah, bro. Like what are you even talking about, you know? I will turn a smoker on when we get there and it'll shut off when we leave. And it'll be whatever we're having, we'll be having brisket for dinner and in the morning
That's
I'll throw
camping.
ribs. Yeah.
That's glamping.
Bro, you sit there and
Oh,
eat,
I don't
man.
do that at home. What are you going out into the wilderness? Like, there's no bathrooms here. I can't shower. I can't wash my hands. I hate having sticky hands. That's
You know-
the thing.
You know what's going to happen?
This isn't like in a tent.
Yeah, you're okay. You're out, but like, I can do that at home.
Bro, my last camper had 2 bathrooms in it. What are you talking about? Can't wash your hands. Where are you camping at?
Oh, so you're
What are
just
you even
living out
talking
of a camper. Is
Yeah.
that even camping?
Yes, absolutely.
It's not like I don't
Back
get
it in the
the
woods.
appeal of that. I
Just
don't
freaking back it in the
We're
woods.
not even going somewhere nice. We're just going to a trailer park that
No, you
isn't
can't.
permanent.
You can't go to a trailer park. You got to find little hole in the wall state lands to back up in. You can't be going where all these hippies and freaking city people are going. You got to find a nice spot.
That was insensitive.
Oh well.
insensitive.
Hey, I just want to point something out. When we get back and you're complaining and raising Cain, all these recordings are too short. I just want to point out the reason they're short is because somebody didn't empty the hard drive.
From this point forward, I'll make sure that it's completely empty when I come out here. The other one that I have is too slow. It's that big 4 terabyte hard drive that apparently also will not work because apparently this thing only works with Samsung T5s.
Quality products.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't know that. I'll get a 2 terabyte.
I think if you got a Panasonic Toughbook, you can shove an 8 terabyte in there. Like a huge, it's freaking ridiculous. The size of the hard drive they make.
Right.
That's native. I think mine's not even the biggest, and I have a 4. And I'm pretty
Right.
sure they make an 8.
What are you saying? To put into the laptop? What?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll hold
This is an external.
See,
yeah, but if you had
record
an
to that.
8 gig, if you had an 8 gig native, would you need an external?
Yeah, because this records to an external, and so it records all of the channels, all of the audio and everything on the individual.
I see.
And so it puts it on a hard drive.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I thought it was recording into the
That's still not enough. Nothing's ever enough. Yeah.
I mean, 8 terabytes that's a significant amount of storage, I feel like.
So I have 2 4-terabyte SSDs,
Which is 8.
in my gaming PC or my work PC at home. And I mean, I've got it probably almost full. It's getting close. Do you know how much a game is? It's 100 gigs.
Game what? Who?
Yeah.
I think there's 2 and 4 in this one. Or
How do they keep all that?
6.
So my kids have a Nintendo Switch, and so do we. We have a parent's Switch that doesn't get thrown around, and we have a kid's Switch that gets trashed. And
so we have the daughter Switch, we have the Switch Lite,
yeah,
and
so
we
you
have
roll
the
like I
mom
do.
Switch.
Yeah, one that like if the kids touch and that's what ours is. Ours is the mom switch, and if the mom switch, like if it's out of the holster, like somebody's going to the room. Like that, it ain't cool. But anyways, how do they fit 100 gigs on that little? It's tiny. The little chips that come with them.
Well, if you play a Switch game, like for instance, I've got Fortnite on this computer, and if we're all playing Fortnite, you can see my Fortnite looks one way and their Fortnite looks completely different.
Oh,
and so the quality is much lower.
The Switch has
games.
the Switch has got a really, really light processor. Like
gotcha.
Have you seen the memes from
pretty,
the Mortal Kombat game? Mm-hmm. So the new Mortal Kombat came out, Mortal Kombat 1 or whatever the hell it's called. They released it on the Switch, full price.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also out on PC and PS5. And
Sure.
Okay. The quality is like less than half.
Right, because the processor power and the graphics and all that
Switch
stuff.
is not only is it from 2017, but it was underpowered for a 2017 device. So it's not even PS4.
Yeah, my kids like play Mario. There was actually a new Mario game that came out yesterday. I don't
have
know
it
the name.
yet. It's being shipped to the house. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
So there was a program where you could sign up where it got shipped to your house. They shipped it like 2 days before it arrived.
So I did
And that's
pre-purchase,
what
but
we
I
did.
pre-purchased through GameStop, and flipping GameStop, it's like, hey, we're shipping it today, which was the day before, but it didn't get to my house in time.
Yeah, so the kids got it yesterday, and when like the delivery truck came down the driveway, I guess Sammy did like a backflip off the couch and ran down the driveway, like up on the dude's truck to like get the game.
believe it.
Yeah, he was pretty excited.
Is it any good?
They're playing it at home. I got a picture. My wife sent me a picture of the 2 kids playing Nintendo. I guess they've been playing Nintendo for like 20 freaking hours or something like that. So, whatever.
My kids got into Minecraft. I don't get it.
I don't either. I like because little dude wants me to play Minecraft with me or with him, and he's building these houses and putting all these features in the fences and all this stuff in. Yeah, mind you, he's 5, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like he's able to make it do things.
Yeah, little switches, like when you walk over this door opens, and then this
I've
turns
run
on.
into this.
And so I'm over here, like
Not
I
on
can
Minecraft, but I've run into this.
I can build like a little square building.
Yeah,
And
so I've been playing Mario Kart like everybody that's similar to our age for many years, right? We all had Mario Kart probably for Super Nintendo, all the Mario Karts, right? My kids have Mario Kart for like 3 months on this Nintendo Switch. They're like, Dad, come on, play a game. I'm like, whatever, let's go. I'll do the Mushroom Cup, right? Done the Mushroom Cup a million times. Get ready, freaking strap in, kids. This is gonna hurt. It's freaking 4th place out of 4.
Yeah.
It's freaking ate my lunch because all they do is they freaking go on YouTube and they find a little shortcut. And I'm like, I know there's a freaking shortcut there. Like, what are you talking about? Like, man, you just got power slide and shoot people and stuff. And no, I can't do it. It's too embarrassing. I can't play it no more.
I think it's important to point out.
I destroy my kids and my wife. I'm always first place. It's not even close.
Do you watch? Let me ask, do you take the shortcuts? Is that what's going on?
I mean, the shortcuts aren't that short that, I mean, unless you're glitching the game, like if you run a tight race, it's so in.
Dude, Ronnie glitched the game on me. He like takes off. We all take off, and he like whips a Yui, and his thing falls down, and then he goes back across. He's already got a lap turned in like 8 seconds. I'm like, bro,
that's a glitch.
I'm like, this ain't even. We ain't doing that. I'm like, this ain't happening right now.
Yeah.
Like, we're not doing that.
You know, I will say this about the subject we're on. I remember when we started this podcast, and it was the first remote recording we ever did. Trisha made us record. Trisha, I hope you're listening. Trisha made us record in my hotel room. Remember that? And we were recording, and who was it? It was dude from one of the parks.
Yeah, from Next Part.
And I'm telling you what, it was the first time that I ever just kind of like settled and realized, you know what? We're never going to record an episode where we're like serious and talk about the stuff we're supposed to talk about. I was like, when I just gave up, right? Hey, and speaking of just giving up, can you turn around and look behind you at that thing on the wall and tell me what you think's happening?
Oh boy.
What? I mean, seriously,
My wife is
survey it and tell me what you think's happening.
No. Let's keep this G-rated. Let's keep this G-rated.
The potbelly pig got out.
Old Man Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, the hog got out.
Jeepers creepers.
I mean, that does look weird, doesn't it?
They got kind of like. Is it a 3-way or a 4-way? Because I think there's a fourth shooter in the grassy knoll down there in the corner.
It looks that way. Poor JFK.
Sorry, I kicked your camera.
It's okay. It's pointing at David.
Yep.
Nobody needs to see that anyway.
My goodness.
Okay, into the mic.
Why are you so...
I'm trying to study it, and
don't study it. Don't look too deeply into it. It's fine.
You just told me to turn back around and study it.
Because he's an idiot.
Hey, I'm just looking at this, and if you look over there at him, see up here on this screen, look how disappointed he looks.
Who?
He just has this... And you know something else? My wife pointed this out the other day. So there were a lot of pictures that people took, and they would send it to me when we were at AST, and they said, zoom in on David's face. And it's like a series of 15 pictures.
A series of sadness.
And it's him making this face he does.
Like when people take pictures.
The very first picture of David that ever got...
What's the face look like? Let me see it. Oh, yeah, he's got RBF. Horrible.
Oh, no, dude. No.
I do not have RBF. That is a lie.
And so here's the thing, is that the very first picture that I ever received from anybody about David is David with that face. And we're in Kansas City. We're sitting at a restaurant, and he's like all the way at the end of a table. And I take a picture of the whole table, and David's over there doing the mean mug, like, right?
He's angry. Yeah.
And so my wife points out, she's like, you realize like he's had to practice this, right? And I'm like, what? She's like,
he's doing it on purpose?
Oh, of course he's doing it on purpose, but he's practiced it. This cat stands in front of the mirror before he comes out in the morning, and he's like,
after he's marked his territory, right? What the heck?
Why does this room smell like a bear?
Yeah.
I smell like wet dog and garbage.
That wasn't where I was going with that, but sure.
Oh my goodness. What were we supposed to talk about?
We were talking about video games, and then he ruined it because he's like, I don't want to talk about video games. Fine, let's not talk about video games.
What do you...
Let's talk about scan tools. Scan tools are fun. Let's talk about scan tools. And we're fixing cars. Look at my car. I'm going to fix it. Ugh. Hate cars. Hate them.
What do you think Jim's biggest takeaway is going to be?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about a second class he took, but I think that it's pretty exciting that he's decided to take some management classes.
Previously, he wouldn't. And so I don't know if he caught on.
You know, in his defense, every management class that he's been able to take in person locally has been regurgitation that some other shop owner who thinks they're a professional coach because they're regurgitating some information was repeating, and it's been from an outfit that we won't talk about, but like it's been not the greatest. And he's like, who the hell treats people like that? That's freaking bullshit.
You know? I talked, John Barclay is here. Mm-hmm. And I talked to him about y'all having a bad experience with Napa auto care training, right? Mm-hmm. Like I brought it up, and he said, well, tell him to come talk to me. One of the things that I see is a problem with some of those, like because Napa's got independent stores.
Sure.
And then they have their stores. Mm-hmm. And so they can't really mandate to the other stores like, hey, you have to use our trainers.
Exactly.
So they end up with trainers who are salespeople for a product or for a thing.
Absolutely.
And so that is like, to me, that should not be allowed.
Yeah.
I think they should.
And I think he got a bad taste in his mouth.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it hasn't been all bad. I know that David did a hiring class and Jim really enjoyed it, and he didn't follow any of David's directions, so nothing has changed. And he's cool with that because he knows that it's his fault. Well, but he's like, you know, that guy you set me up with, he's a freaking cool dude, man. I'm like, yeah, well, wait till you get to know him. But anyways,
I was going to say, I was going to say, clearly he does not.
Are you saying that I don't become more endearing the longer you know me? I've heard the exact opposite. I thought you were a really big a-hole, but then I got to know you didn't seem that bad.
He's just a really normal-sized a-hole. We've already covered this, David. You're normal-sized. I'm big. I'm not big and you're small.
There's very much a 10-80-10 with you, right? Like, you when you really get to know David, when you know, Tim Kite talked about productive discomfort. You know, Tim Kite's dying of cancer. That just breaks my heart because I've watched so many of his videos. Like, I feel like I know the guy, you know? But like productive discomfort, David's right there on that line of productive discomfort. Like when you really get to know David well, you know,
which is what that means.
It's the 10-80-10. It's like most of the people don't know you at all. The 10% that don't know you think you're an asshole. The 80% who kind of know you think you're an okay guy, not so bad. And then the rest of us who know you well, like that 10%, we know you're an okay guy, but God, you're annoying as fuck.
I don't know. That could probably describe all of us.
That hurts my feelings.
It does not.
But no, I was really impressed at his willingness
to go to
a management class this morning where I wasn't like, hey man, you should go take this class.
Why aren't you taking the management classes?
Because I'm with Jim's son and he's taking some technical classes and he's super green. So I'm kind of like, as he's taking the classes and maybe they're talking about terms where at this level most people would already know, I'm kind of there to be like, hey, this is where we
He seems like a smart kid. He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders.
He's incredibly intelligent.
You didn't even talk to him.
I've talked to him like
neither did you, David. So you don't know either.
Yeah, exactly. It's entirely speculation. We can take it on your word, but
I
this
spent
who
12
over
hours
here
a day
doesn't
with
know
him.
him.
Yeah,
he could be a complete and total dummy. You have no idea.
God almighty, I've got myself into that position more than once, huh?
Oh, boy. How do you deal with this guy? 10-80-10, 10-80-10.
10-80-10, 10-80-10. You just act like it's not happening.
But here's the thing. I don't like just saying stuff. I just don't like saying stuff just to say stuff.
I do enjoy.
I'm not saying that you do that. I'm not saying that you do that. You do fall back into like phrases that you just say over and over again just to fill the empty space. Because you don't like, it makes you uncomfortable. You don't want to hear the empty space. I'm not saying just phrases to introduce the concept or you're like starting a sentence and you're like, hey, listen, dear. No, I'm not talking about that. We're just phrases that you're like, for example, hey, so what do you think of this? Or what do you think of this conference? Well, we got nothing to talk about, so let's talk about the conference. So you just throw that in there just to fill the space.
We've talked about Mr. Johnson. We've talked about wrestling bears. We've talked about eating deer.
No. We don't need to rehash the podcast. I'm saying
games.
That I don't like doing that at all. I'll sit here in complete and total silence and wait for somebody to say something.
You know the reason that people listen to the podcast?
It's because they're listening to us talk. I get that we need to say something, but that's not my point.
Did he just go
in a normal conversation? No, you're just sitting around. I have no problem just being in silence. In the same room
after his 2-minute monologue.
Actually, what I was gonna say,
I don't do this in normal conversations. I don't.
I have noticed that.
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
exactly.
Not like in a negative context. I just know, like, if he has something that he needs to talk about, great. Small talk, get effed. How you doing today?
It's so unproductive. My wife told me that when you shake somebody's hand at a conference, you're supposed to shake their hand, stick your finger out, and press onto their pulse, like onto the on the wrist. And the reason you do that and you make eye contact with them is so it forces a connection with that person. They will feel more connected to you.
I wear my watch on my right hand. That doesn't work with me. I've already defended myself.
Also,
against you.
I wouldn't want to shake that enormous bear claw of a hand. You know who's got hands that
rather
big?
normal size.
Scott Palava. Scott Palava is much smaller than you, but his hands are same size. Anyway, so she like, I come out here and she's like, hey, try the handshake thing. And I'm like, I don't want to touch anybody at all.
It is the coolest thing ever to watch somebody reach out to shake his hand.
It makes me so uncomfortable.
Would you shut up for a minute? He literally, somebody reaches out to shake his hand and you see him watch.
Like locks right up.
No, he looks straight down at their hand and he looks back up at them and he goes.
He won't even read.
I do. If they don't pull back with a,
and that's where the first 10% comes from, David. That's where the first 10% comes from. They're like, I want to shake this dude's hand, and he was acting like he was the Pope, and I was some sort of peasant, and how dare he touch me?
Dude, from the outside, that's what it looks like.
How dare you attempt to touch me?
I'm just curious what this over here is. You see that too? You see this little thing right here?
I don't have anything there.
Oh yeah, you're a little puffy. You got a gland that's swollen. You got a gland that's swollen, David.
Well, but it's been there for a couple of weeks.
I drained
like the past couple of shows
What
we've
are
been
you
to.
talking about?
You're engorged.
Anyway,
dude, the next time we go to a show, like next week, we're gonna get to Apex, and that whole spot's gonna be red, and he's gonna be doing this.
You just send him down the. You should send him.
Here's the thing.
You should send him episodes from like the Discovery Channel Parasite stuff.
No, it's not parasites, dude. There's this whole video where like this news reporter, they're talking to this news reporter about how he's on air, and this like special doctor sends him a message, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, you've got cancer. You should probably go get that removed." And so like goes to the doctor, and turns out he was like in the beginning stages of cancer, and the dude just saw this little spot in his neck from TV. So I'm just like, see what I mean? Like it does look a little.
I don't know. When you go like
it's probably his jugular.
Yeah,
it's probably his jugular. Fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't go get checked out at all. I'm sure you're just fine. I just keep driving.
I went to the doctor.
To get that thing checked?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was freaked out that I was dying of something and that I didn't know it. And I'm in my BNI group. And this attorney in the BNI group, super nice guy, thin, healthy, worked out on a regular basis, like fit. Anyway, finds out he's got prostate cancer. And not just, he'd been having back pain. And he'd been going to the chiropractor to get the back pain checked out.
Because that
for
was
months. Mm-hmm. He ends up going to the doctor. They scan him. Turns out he's got stage 4 prostate cancer. It's bad. Yeah. So he goes through the whole chemo thing, everything. And he's got it's a website called like Caring Bridge or something like that, where he's like, he's chronicling his battle with cancer. And you're reading this in there, and he's a very good writer. And he's telling a story, and it's interesting, and you're like, I mean, you feel bad for this guy. And the very last one, it was heartbreaking. In his very last one, he finishes his chemo thing. He's supposed to be on radiation, and the doctor goes, "This is the best you're ever going to feel, because you have to stay on the testosterone blockers for forever." Which the testosterone blockers, they sap your strength. Mm-hmm. They make you overly effeminate. He had pecs. They'll turn into moobs and saggy, and he won't have any energy, and they end up rescanning him, and he's got spots all over his insides. And so the doctor's like, at this point, there's nothing we can do. You've got 2 to 3 more years, maybe, and this is as good as you're ever going to feel, and that's it. Ugh. And he had to. And he's on YouTube, he's doing research, and maybe I can beat this with this, or I've got this weird treatment in Mexico I can go do. And they're like, no, dude, there's nothing. Like, and that freaked me out. And I go,
and that was his last post.
That was his last post, which was like a month ago.
Oh,
so he's 2 to 3 more years. He's 47. He's 47. He's not that old.
And look, I mean, there's been a lot of people who have posted about like colon cancer and stuff like that, and I freak out about stuff like that, right? And so there's a lot of people, like there was a tech that lost his wife just the other day or a couple of weeks ago, and she was in her 30s, right? And I watched this video, and it was about this super duper CAT scan or something, MRI, that you could get, and you pay in New York to go get this scan done. It's like $3,000, and they do this scan ever so often, and you're supposed to go back like every 6 months to get one done. And it's for these people who want to like really do
take care
something
of
special with their health.
Especially if you're high risk catching something in
it wasn't even
1
that. It was just like these super duper like healthy people, healthy nuts, hypochondriacs, whatever. And the doctor said that if people were over 30, 50% of the people that they scanned would have cancer somewhere, right? Like there was no way around it. Like, and they don't catch it because they never do those scans, and we don't do proactive scans. And so like 50% of the people that they scanned as this would have a small growth somewhere. There was a cancerous growth that they could pick up. And it's like, that is insane.
50%?
Over 30. Yeah, 50% over 30 would have some type
Where
of
do I
growth.
get this?
It seems like gastrointestinal
I don't wanna
stuff
know.
is just like
Yeah, it's rampant right now.
my cousin a few months ago.
Yeah.
He's gone through a year. They kept ulcer this, ulcer that. He went under the knife at Roswell Park Cancer Institute, 35 years old. They didn't know if he was coming out with a stomach.
Yeah.
Because of ulcers?
Stomach cancer.
Oh, geez.
They thought they were going to have to take his stomach out. 35 freaking years old.
And
kid doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't work around any dangerous chemicals. Just
luck of the draw?
yeah. My mom's side he's on my mom's side of the family, and there's like colon cancer history on that side of the family. But like he was at like, they almost staged it as stage 4 at 35 years old. He was that close to stage 4.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. This 47-year-old, super healthy 47-year-old has got prostate cancer. It's not the death. It's the maiming.
Alex's stepdad was fairly young when he went from colorectal. I mean, there's been so many cases of it. And you're right. It seems to be stomach.
Yeah, my dad was only in his 50s when he died from esophagus cancer.
Yeah.
You know, complications from esophagus cancer, you know.
Well, this turned depressing.
What's that?
This turned depressing.
What is it? The healthy bacteria, gut bacteria you're supposed to have in your stomach? Like
I don't know if it's going to help.
Probiotics.
I don't know if it's going to help.
No?
I think we're all just like destined to.
I don't think anybody makes it out alive. So
no, nobody makes that out alive. But
that's a really miserable.
You
way
also
to go.
don't want to crap into a bag into your 60s.
Dude, you watch what Shelly's going through, and watch what her and Scott, right? And the worst part of it is I feel so bad for both of them, because she feels bad because she recognizes what this does to Scott, and like Alex brought it up to me the other day, and she said, you know, the thing is like, when the finality of something like that happens, the person who experiences the finality, it's over for them, right? Like the pain and all that's gone. But the person who had to be there to watch and care for, because
they
like
still have the grief that they have to deal with.
Well, it's not even just that. It's think of the workload, think of the task, think of all the things that they had to do and had to fill.
Exactly.
And now
that was our conversation with Brett. It's like, dude, you don't want to do that to your kids. You're not thinking about what's this going to do to my 25-year-old kid who all of a sudden doesn't want to see dad, waste away, and they're taking care of him, or they're having to visit him, or they have to figure out what home to put him in, and it becomes taxing on the children. You're doing that to your kids. You're not doing it just to yourself.
Yeah, it's a lot. Even if it's not a lot of physical work, it's a lot of emotional anguish to care for somebody who has cancer and needs help with things for like 3 years.
It's not even. It's a lot, man. We weren't even talking about cancer. We're talking about you did not take care of yourself when you had the opportunity, and now you're 65 years old and you're crapping yourself and peeing yourself, and somebody's got to clean your diapers. Who's changing the diapers for you? Who?
Do you think it's that we have? Like, I guess the best term to use to describe what I'm thinking or trying to describe to you is playing God, right? Like, so science has played God with human life, and maybe it's that we've pushed the human body beyond what it was. In other words, like It wasn't supposed to live to
Are
80
you saying
years
that
old.
our ancestors ate salted pork every day and lived to a rightful age of 27 years old?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I see what
exactly
you're
what
saying.
I'm saying.
No.
What?
The salted pork had nothing to do with their early deaths. It was the
Lack of care.
it was the lack of sanitation
Yep.
and just basic hygiene. Sewage
Mm-hmm.
would run through the streets, and you'd be exposed.
Yeah,
to
but
it.
I mean,
You'd
even
get
before-
cholera and die.
But I guess my point is that through the process of evolution, right?
like
We've
the
gotten to where
Oregon
we
Trail.
live.
Yeah, that's
You
what
died
killed.
of dysentery.
Yeah, you would die
Everybody
of
gets
dysentery
dysentery.
at 16, and so
Right,
the
but I
average
mean,
life expectancy was 35 because there were a whole bunch of 16-year-olds dying from dysentery. We don't have that anymore.
You ever watch the show 1883? It was sad. Thinking of that sucked.
I feel like I'm doing something wrong in my life. People ask me about all these shows they're watching.
No, you're not. You're
I
not doing
don't-
anything wrong with your
I
life. You know-
freaking
There's lots of things wrong with your life, Brian, but that's not one of them.
yeah. Like by the time I go to work, I get home, I freaking do the training that I want to do, look up the stuff I want to look up, talk to the people I want to talk to stay current on some of the things they're seeing.
You talk too much, and you're too much of a car nerd.
Is that the problem?
I don't know if that it's a problem.
It's really my only hobby.
It's if
My wife
you
and I talk
enjoy
about
it.
this. She's like, "You need a hobby." I'm like, "I have a
No,
hobby."
don't let her shame you. Don't let
Yeah.
her shame you. If you enjoy it, keep doing it. If you enjoy it, keep
Yeah.
doing it.
And the next
we
morning,
need
I
people like you in this
get
world.
up,
They
get the
can't all be
kids-
me.
I
I
get
hate cars.
get the kids ready for school and get them on the bus off, get the baby to the babysitter, and go back to work. Like,
There you go.
and TV never
Yeah.
You don't need
even
it.
fit in.
You don't
there,
need it.
man.
My wife makes me watch TV to like get my mind off of everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like she'll come in and she'll say like, "Hey, I want to watch some TV. I want to."
Yeah,
do
mine's
something
tried
together."
that. She'll watch Suits acting like I'm watching it, and I like 8 minutes in, laptop opens.
No, I think you.
I'm like, this is a stupid fake show
You know what
about
we do?
stuff
We're-
that didn't happen.
We're in the same room. My wife is watching some show. That I don't even know, but I'm in the same room with her. I just happen to be playing Forza Motorsports.
Is that Johnson the hog on your screen, Dave?
Yeah, I've tried.